Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
It's Friday morning. Do you know what that means? It's time for Friday Live. Good morning, everybody. I'm your host, Albert Sharp, bringing you the inside scoop on today's latest news. We're talking about health, housing, and more this Friday Live. But first, our top story of the day. Negotiations between the Canadian Union of Public Employees and the Ontario government are set to continue today in an attempt to prevent an impending strike. If strike action does proceed following these negotiations, school boards across Ontario are planning on closing schools to ensure student safety in the case of a walkout. Locally, the Greater Essex County District School Board has announced they will remain open regardless of the result, while the Catholic Board will close schools in event of a strike. Now, on a less political note, some talented Windsor locals got a chance to compete for the spotlight, and Nadia Butler has the report.
Windsor locals fought for the chance to win the headline title of We Got Talent at the Capitol Theatre this past weekend. Of the 40 acts who auditioned last summer, 8 finalists were chosen to perform alongside the award-winning Windsor Symphony Orchestra in the company's inaugural talent search competition. Tap dancer Kendall Ackland dazzled the audience with her rendition of Leroy Anderson's The Typewriter.
I remember the symphony sending it to me, and I heard it for the first time, and I was like, I have to choreograph something to this. Like, it's just so much fun.
17-year-old piano player Keegan Yap was ultimately named the champion of the competition.
These performances, these are the times that you realize that everything's worth it. And it's an amazing experience to play with an amazing orchestra and an amazing conductor.
Yap will get the opportunity to headline his own one-night-only performance at the Capitol Theatre later this year, certainly proving that Windsor Essex has got talent indeed. This is Nadia Butler for MediaPlex News.
And speaking of talent that will be around Windsor, Lil Nas X's performance at the Coliseum at Caesars Windsor has been canceled. After 7 months in the spotlight, the young rapper has announced he is taking a break from performing. However, Billy Ray Cyrus, who was originally set to share the stage with the rapper, has announced he will still be performing that night. And we're going to go to Zach Ballo with the weather. Take it away.
Hey guys, happy Friday. I'm weather anchor Zachary Thomas, and here's a look at your 3-day forecast. Today we are looking at a high of 14 with showers later in the day. Saturday, chance of showers and a high of 18. Sunday, more rain and a high of 19. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Zach. And now we're going to pass the ball over to Christian Stannard for sports. Court's yours.
Hey, what is poppin', ladies and gentlemen? Let's tee up and swing right into
I'm
the sports.
Reporting for MediaPlex.
Wednesday, our St. Clair men's golf team brought home the OCAA Division II Golf Championship. Congratulations, guys. Also, a big shout out to our first-year woman golfer, Shannon Coffey, on winning the OCAA silver at the championship Wednesday as well. Skating on forward, unfortunately, last night the Spitfires lost their game in the overtime against Ottawa. They definitely played a hard game, but lost in overtime. Also, Wednesday night, the Leafs won their first game of the season, setting the tone from the very beginning, and they were not letting up. They took the W with a 5-3 victory against the Ottawa Senators. Also, the Atlanta Braves, after having a 3-run lead over the St. Louis Cardinals, were down 7-3 in the bottom of the ninth, and ended up losing the game 7-6. Holy, what a game. All 4 teams will play in the baseball playoffs today. Minnesota plays the Yankees in New York, and Houston is playing at home against Tampa Bay. Make sure you clear your schedule and watch those today. For now, it's your boy Christian Stannard, and that's what's popping in the sports. Back to you, Albert.
Thank you, Christian. And now we have a special guest, Christina Gilbo from Crime Stoppers. How are you today, Christina?
Doing great, Albert. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for asking. So, for anyone who may not know, what is Crime Stoppers and what do you do?
Well, Crime Stoppers is the only nonprofit charity dedicated to solving crime in our community. We take tips from members of Windsor and Essex County who wish to remain anonymous. And if the information helps them solve an investigation, then we'll potentially pay out a cash reward, and they never have to go to court.
All right, and I hear every week you're coming to us with a crime of the week. Do you got one this week?
I do. OPP are appealing to the public for witnesses to an assault that occurred in Leamington on September 21st around 11:30 p.m. The Leamington OPP responded to an assault complaint in the 300 block of Mercia Road 5. Police were advised that several ATVs were being driven in a farm field and potentially causing damage to the crops. The owner of the property approached the ATV operators and asked them to leave, but was unsuccessful. So during this exchange, a person was assaulted, requiring hospitalization, and a motor vehicle was damaged prior to the group of suspects fleeing the area. And shortly after, one of the involved ATVs may have also been involved in a collision with another motor vehicle.
Now, if anyone has any information on that, what can they do about it?
Well, we're encouraging anybody that has information on this case to call the OPP. However, if you wish to remain anonymous, you can always call Crime Stoppers at 519-258-8477. You can also submit a tip online at catchcrooks.com.
Thank you very much, Christina, and we'll see you here next week.
Thank you.
All right. Now, housing is always a controversial topic in Windsor, and Eleanor Dillon is here to tell us more.
I'm Eleanor Dillon, reporting for MediaPlex News. I'm standing here in front of what seem to be the remains of the Victoria Public High School. The property is made up of 44 acres and the remains are located at 12,433 Dillon Drive. The school was closed down in 2014 due to a declining enrolment. The original plan was for developers to build a 94-unit residential housing area after the building was knocked down. However, after a meeting was held by the council on Tuesday the 24th of September, residents from the area stepped forward to express their concerns for the building's future plans and their road. Ron McConnell is a resident from Dillon Drive who has lived there for over 27 years.
We're not against development, but we think the development should be consistent with our neighborhood, which is single-family homes. And if he comes back yet again with another proposal that reflects the neighborhood, we'll all be very happy. We expect there's going to be a development. We're not against development, but three-story apartment buildings seem a little bit out of whack with the neighborhood.
A date for a second public meeting to be held is yet to be announced. I'm Eleanor Dillon.
Now, there may be a fight for housing, but Ryan Percy is here to talk about the fight against cancer.
It was another round in the fight against cancer on September 15th. The 24th annual Tecumseh Terry Fox Run saw people from all walks of life take to the streets. They walked, ran, and biked 2 to 10 kilometers to raise money for cancer research. 41-year-old Shannon Cater helped lead the charge just a week after her last ovarian chemo treatment.
There's no age limit to cancer. We all battle it every stage of the game. So stay on top of your health and do what you can to take care of yourself and support those that are battling.
The run raised over $103,000 that will help fund cancer research. If they get as much next year, the run will have raised over $1 million in total, just in time for their 25th anniversary. For MediaPlex News, I'm Ryan Percy.
Next, I guess we can use this opportunity to talk about our health. We have Max DeLiberato for our Health Minute.
Did you know that scientists have discovered a way to decrease the age of your blood by 2 years? They're able to do this by using prescription drugs mixed together, kind of like the ultimate cocktail, according to UCLA professor Steve Horvath. They use a mix of diabetes medication and human growth hormone. This regenerates your thymus. The thymus creates T cells. These are imperative to your immune system. As time goes on, your thymus shrinks. The mixture of the human growth hormone and diabetes medication have allowed scientists to regrow your thymus with virtually no side effects. Note that as you age, your body goes through a process of methylation. Methylation is the aging process in effect on our DNA molecules. Methyl will decrease over time in your DNA molecules. So, by looking at the biomarkers in blood, we are able to tell just what someone's life expectancy is. Fun fact, in people over 100 years old, the part of the brain involved with motor skills actually is one of the slowest things to age. I am Max DeLiberato, and this is your Health Minute.
Next, we have our Impulse Girls talking about whatever comes to their alleged minds today. Take it away.
Welcome to Impulse, the show with no description because the topics are whatever comes to mind. I'm Tristan Zuderveen.
And I'm Kaylee Boucher. Today we are talking about Detroit Become Human, a PS4 game released in 2018 where androids struggle for freedom in a future where humans are superior.
The game has 32 chapters and 83 official endings. However, the creators have stated that they are unsure of how many endings are actually possible because there are more than 1,000 different combinations of choices.
There are 3 protagonists that the player controls, all of them being androids. Connor is designed to hunt deviant androids.
Marcus is a companion android that was decommissioned and rebuilt himself with scrap parts, who became the leader of the android rebellion.
Kara is a domestic servant that deviated in order to protect the child from her abusive father.
Throughout the game, there are certain concepts that are constantly present. As the leader of the android resistance, every choice made by Marcus affects the overall opinion of androids. Peaceful choices that call for equality will earn sympathy from the human population, while harsh or forceful decisions generate fear and aggression towards the rebellion.
No matter which character you are playing as, there are always dozens of lives in the balance every time you make a choice.
The most realistic thing about this game is not the graphics or situations, it's the concept of action and consequence. Some choices, in game and in life, can bring you to a point where the next choice will be made for you.
Hey, if you work on a farm caring for chicken, does that make you a chicken tender?
This has been Impulse. I'm Tristan Zuderveen.
And I'm Kaylee Boucher.
Thank you, girls. And now we have Danielle Haddad with her weekly feature.
Good morning. My name is Danielle Haddad, and you're listening to What's in Your Head. I have one goal, and it's to enlighten young adults on mood disorders, their symptoms, and how they affect you. I don't have any professional qualifications, but my experience is plenty. I've been through a lot, and what makes me feel better on a hard day is knowing someone else has been through the same or worse, but overcame it. Life can put us through some difficult obstacles, and that's why it's so important to me to let someone out there know they aren't alone. On July 4th, 2016, I went through the most traumatizing incident of my life, in the form of a major car accident on the 401. Since then, I've dealt with PTSD, anxiety, depression, and I'm still dealing with chronic pain. I've lost friends, but made better ones, mended broken relationships, changed my career, and I'm following my heart, which is to pursue my passion of being a journalist. What I thought was the most devastating thing that ever happened to me also ended up being the best thing that ever happened to me. It changed me into the person I am today. It changed my motivation and gave me a new perspective on life. We all need to help each other out, and if I can do this by bringing awareness to one person, then my goal is complete. Over the duration of the school year, I want to discuss isolation, love, nerves, anxiety, stress, and PTSD, and so much more. I want the listeners to know how it affects your brain chemistry and techniques to overcome it. Be mindful, be grateful, be positive, be true, be kind. My name is Danielle Haddad, and I hope I made one person feel a little bit better today. Back to you, Albert.
And next, we're going to kick it off for the Lancers playing the #1 team in the country. Liam Adam reports.
On Saturday afternoon, the Windsor Lancers football team took to the turf at Alumni Field against the #1 ranked team in Canada, the Western Mustangs. The rivals have a storied past filled with animosity. Going into the game, the Mustangs were undefeated on the season, while the Lancers had only one victory thus far. The first half looked impressive for the Lancers, as they capitalized on their efforts, led by quarterback Sam Girard. Going into halftime, the Mustangs led by merely 2 points. Lancer fans felt quite optimistic about the potential for a major upset.
Oh, the team's playing great. I mean, moving the ball, scoring. I never thought they'd be ahead of Western at this point.
The Mustangs came out in the third quarter with vengeance in mind, scoring early and often. Despite a valiant effort, the Lancers fell victim to familiar woes, with the final score ending at 58-25 for the Mustangs. Wide receiver and Lancers veteran, Caden Walls, felt as though his team had fought hard on the field, but wished that the second half scoring reflected their efforts.
We had really good energy coming out. We knew that we could attack their weaknesses in the back end. So we were doing that, put up some points. It was good to get out to an early lead. Obviously, they came back a little bit. They are the #1 team in the country, so we just kind of had to maintain it. And going into half, we felt really good coming out.
Next October 5th, the Lancers look to bounce back as they take on Ottawa, an away game at GG Field, 7 p.m. For MediaPlex News, this is Liam Adams.
And next up, I like to talk, and so does my friend Vanna here. It's time for V-Talk.
Let's jump right into the Biebers today. It's Bieber week in the entertainment world. Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber tied the knot again. The couple officially got married back in September of 2018, but that proved not enough of a party for this celebrity couple. Hailey and Justin got married a second time, with both a ceremony and reception held in South Carolina September 30th. The event was extremely private, with only a rumored 146 guests, including a few celebrities. Kendall Jenner, Hailey Bieber's best friend, Kylie Jenner, Travis Scott, and Jaden Smith are all celebrities that were in attendance. Fancy mementos and souvenirs were given to guests in attendance, among that being water bottles and t-shirts, all with the same logo as the water bottle. There was a bedazzled bottle of Moet Enchanted champagne that was the Bieber's wedding date on it. This bottle was passed around and shared amongst the guests and their social media. That's it for Bieber Week on VTalk. I'm Savannah Mills. Back to you, Alberto.
And if you're not looking forward to sports enamored by celebrities, maybe you're looking forward to our producer's favorite moment of the show. Here's our weird news of the week with Zach. Take it away.
Thanks, guys, and welcome to another edition of Weird News. We begin this story from Paris, where a man was found naked and confused after taking a drug known as LSD. This happened at the Disneyland park. That's right, you heard me. The Press Herald reports that according to the Parisian, after taking the drug at the theme park, the man fell into a man-made lake in the Peter Pan area where he then vanished. He was later found naked almost a mile away in a residential neighborhood. And just when you thought Goofy was the only weirdo at Disney. A Florida man named by the name of Daryl Rydell faces numerous charges after an incident in Miami. Mr. Rydell was pulled over on suspicion of a DUI. According to CBS Miami, he was pulled over by deputies. Rydell pulled out a can of beer and started chugging it right then and there. The man faces numerous charges, including felony DUI, amongst others. Well, I guess after booking, it'll be 5 o'clock somewhere. This story out of the Detroit suburb of Auburn Hills. Police are looking for a pair who put adult entertainment onto a billboard. Saturday, according to WWJ Radio, the pair broke into a building and accessed a computer where they then displayed pornography, which was visible to drivers on Interstate 75. The pair and motives are still unknown. Wow, what a time not to be stuck in traffic. I'm Zach, and that's enough weirdness for this week. Back to you.
Enough weirdness, certainly, and that is it for today. I'm your host, Albert Sharp, and we have had contributions from Nadia Butler, Christian Stannard, Zach Ballo, Vanna Mills, Tristan Zuderveen, Kaylee Boucher, Ryan Percy, and Danielle Haddad. That's Friday Live.